Director, Ardias, Mahinder Singh, organizers, Manish Madan and Anil Goyal, session chair, respected Dinesh sir and Dr. Nidhi. My colleague and keynote speaker will come after me, Dr. Prashant Gupta. All the participants of this conference, students of our dais, faculty members of our dais, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to be here with you today on this a very good theme and very well-versed theme of Make in India. Okay. When we talk about or think about Make in India, what comes to our mind is manufacturing industry. Let us make in India and let us export from India. We thought let us divert or let us give a new dimension to this Make in India concept. Why not Make in India as well as Serve in India? So that was the whole idea behind my presentation. And obviously, we have to concentrate on innovations. I mean, it's difficult for any industry to thrive in the market without constant innovations. Okay, so topic that I'm going to deliver with you, I'm going to discuss with you. In fact, would be happy to have your point of view also on this particular topic, which is innovations for effective entrepreneurship. Okay, how do we change through this? Okay. What is innovation? I feel innovation is an opportunity. It is an opportunity. The only thing is that you have to understand the opportunity you are seeking, whether you can actually implement it. Opportunities are there. You have to understand which can be implemented in what condition. So what I am thinking about innovation, that's my perspective on innovation is to exploit a business opportunity. And we strongly feel manufacturers as well as service organizations should constantly thrive getting business opportunities to innovate their industry. The idea is, okay, how can we have innovations in service industry? I was going through a research paper and it said that it's difficult to innovate in service industry. The nature of the industry is very, very different from manufacturing industry. In fact, the idea of innovation does not exist as such in India. We keep innovating, we keep doing, but there is no systematic channel is not there for innovations. What could be the problems, what could be the challenges, and why it is not there yet? So that's what I'm going to take you around in next few minutes. So yes, service industry needs a strategic focus for new service development, and obviously they have to develop competencies, very, very important. They have to develop financial competencies, they have to develop operational competencies, they have to develop competency before it actually leads to creativity and innovation in the service industry. So what could be the challenges further? Yes, the nature of service operations is very, very different from that of manufacturing. In manufacturing, you work in your warehouse, you manufacture, you can have innovations like I mean Nokia, iPad, iPhone. They are known for their innovations. They can work in their factory, they can work in warehouse, they can experiment. If the experiment goes wrong, they can change it and work further. It may not occur in service industry. You cannot afford to go ahead with a wrong experiment because you are directly dealing with your customers. The moment you do innovations, it is presented in front of the customer. So the problem is that customer participation is there in the service process right from the start, right from the beginning. So you have to test your innovations in advance before you present to your customer. And obviously simultaneity, the moment a service is formed, it is consumed, so if you're am I not audible? Am I not audible? Or is that all right? Is that all right? You want me to use it? No, no, I'm all right. Okay. So the nature of service is simultaneity. The moment service is produced, it is consumed by the customer. It is consumed by the consumer. So if your innovation has gone wrong, it might cost you a lot. It might cost big for you. Perishability. The problem arises because of costing. You did innovations, but nature of your service or see, we should not distinguish between the service and manufacturing industry per se. Even if you're manufacturing a product, you're giving service along with it. You are into a service industry, in some form or the other you are having products also along with it. So but still the nature of the service industry is perishable. You cannot use it next day. No, if you have gone, you've invested a lot in R&D, if you've gone for experimentation, you've gone for innovations, the cost is very very high for innovation, but the only problem is that it cannot be restored. It has to be consumed the same day. Intangibility, it's not seen. You can only feel a service, you cannot see it. Okay, some innovation is done in mobile, some innovation is done in air cooler, let's say in this particular building. We can see it, we can feel it. When it comes to service industry, you cannot see it, you can only feel it. So the concept of a service provider may vary from the concept of the consumer. You did innovate your services, the customer could not feel it, and that's how we say your innovation might have gone wrong. And then obviously heterogeneity, each consumer is different from the other. My expectations from a service industry is different from the expectations of the other another consumer. Like if I go on a lighter note, if I go for dinner with my husband, I look for a restaurant which is cozy. It should waiter should be there, they should take care of me. My husband goes along with me, and he thinks it should be economical. No, so we both are going together, we are having different expectations from the same restaurant. Okay, my husband wants it to be economical, at the same end I want all the services to be provided to me very very handy. So because of the heterogeneous nature of the consumer, it becomes very very difficult to implement innovations in service industry. Okay, still we have tried to find out the areas of innovation service industry where we could all have innovations. The concept itself, why not we have a concept which is innovative itself in nature? I mean, just try to understand, who would have thought of daycare unit would be an industry in itself. No, there are people, we have two working people in the families, two working families have become a common thing today. That's why this industry is thriving and surviving. Who could have thought of it few years back? Client interface, very very important. When you are dealing with your consumers, you're directly talking to your customers. No, until unless the service provider has empathy for the consumer, your product could be good, your service could be good, but somehow it could not be communicated to the customer. Okay, point of sale, I'll talk about it, is a very very innovative technique. Micro marketing is a very very innovative technique. Let me understand the actual need of my customer and let me deal accordingly. So these are few innovative techniques which have already been implemented in India also. Service delivery system, concept is there, but somehow it could not reach to my consumer because my delivery system was not efficient enough. I could not make my point reach to my consumer. So until unless my delivery system is efficient, my concept may not reach to my consumer. And obviously the god of all innovations is technological options. We'll have to explore, we'll have to exploit the technology. Without this, it is very very difficult for any industry, let it be manufacturing industry or service industry, even to survive, forget about thriving the market. Okay, the model was given by Dan Hertog, but it has been implemented in India also as per se. So what are the challenges? What are the challenges? In service industry, innovation has to be incremental. Where is manufacturing industry, you did innovate your product. The product might have a life cycle of few years. Innovation works for years in manufacturing industry. In service industry, the needs of the consumer keep changing day by day. Their demand keeps changing day by day. Their expectations keep changing day by day. So your innovation has to be incremental. It has to be incremental. That is the biggest challenge in service industry. And obviously degree of integration required, because it's the entire value chain, right from the supplier to customers. There are so many, there are so many points in the chain. Until unless they are well integrated, I was talking about it few minutes back itself, we had innovation in the concept, but we could not have innovations in the delivery system. So that integration is not there. So my innovation could not reach to my consumer, my innovation could not reach to my customer, and that's how the innovation failed. So until unless that kind of integration is not there, it will remain a challenge for service industry to innovate. Now, what I've done is I have taken few examples from India itself where we have seen radical innovations. These are radical innovation. Indian service industries have shown these innovations. Healthcare industry. Apollo has been the pioneer. Earlier we used to think, hospital was supposed to give a patient arrives with a particular problem, hospital is supposed to take care of it. Today, we do not term it as a hospital, we term it as a healthcare unit. It takes care of you right from the moment you enter the system till your exit from the system. Okay, medical facilities there, pharmaceutical is there, experts from all areas is there, dietitian is there. So hospital is not a hospital itself, it's the entire healthcare unit. The innovation, the radical innovation which has been there pioneered by Apollo in India itself, is the hub and spoke model. This is an operational innovation, but I thought it would be good if I share this model with you. Have you heard about hub and spoke model, any of you? Any idea? Okay, okay, this is like wheel of a cycle. Hub is there at the center and it has various spokes. Okay, so the idea was it Apollo cannot reach to the rural people, Apollo cannot reach to the people who are not economically sound. How do they get the same healthcare facility as I and you get? Okay, so they innovated this idea. Obviously the idea was innovated by the FedEx. It's an American courier company, but implemented by in India by Apollo Pharmaceutical itself. So the idea is, what do they do is, there's a team. Okay, the team delivers healthcare to hospital. They have network of clinics, they have small clinics in small places. So what do they do is, they have various spokes, and then they have secondary hub which is well connected to all these rural blazes, which is secondary hub. So if your problem has not, suppose you're going for if you're having fever, you're running with fever, you can go to the particular clinic in your rural blaze itself. But the problem increases, no, it converts into a typhoid. So you may go, you may be, you're not supposed to go. They are well connected, all the spokes are well connected from each other. Okay, so you are transferred to the secondary hub. But if the problem persists, let's say it converts into an acute problem, you will actually reach the hub of that particular industry. So hub and spoke model has been very, very successful. It was a brilliant idea to have this model in healthcare industry. Earlier it was used in telecommunication industry, it was used in a courier industry. So it is very innovative idea to inculcate hub and spoke model in the healthcare industry. Okay, airline and hotel industry, revenue management. Because see, when we talk about the perishability, this industry is one live example. A hotel has 100 rooms. On a particular day there is only 60% occupancy, 40% of the rooms remain vacant, and you cannot do anything about it. You cannot use those 40 rooms next day, you may not have 140 rooms next day. No, the capacity remains 100 only per day. How do they go about it? 40 rooms remain unoccupied. Forget about an airline. It has a capacity of 260 passengers. Only 200 passengers boarded on a particular day. 60 seats remained vacant. and the airline had to fly anyhow. So the idea came yield management. Yield management is a excellent, I would call it a radical innovation again. It is an excellent idea to implement in the service industry, which shows perishability in nature. Okay, and obviously nothing like airline and hotel industry, because cost is huge here. Cost is huge, fixed cost is used to build these industry. So what they came up with the idea, they came up with the idea of variable pricing strategy. I'm not sure if you have flown by a particular airline, you realize your customer has paid differently from you. You have paid 10,000 and the person who is sitting just nearby you, he has paid only 6,000 for the same distance. And trust me, this is considered to be legal. The government all over the world have termed it to be legal, because the industry is of perishable nature, otherwise loss would be huge. You are paying differently for the same service. You might have the same experience in the hotel industry also. The occupant occupying the nearby room might have paid more or less than you for the same service. Okay, the concept is called yield management. The idea is to increase efficiency. The idea, so what do we do? You might have seen, you are thinking of, you are planning to for a visit in summer break or somewhere. You might have, we call it peak period or non peak period. No, this is how they divide. In peak period the charges are higher, in non peak period the charges are less for the same services. So this is how they try to divide consumers into two parts: one consumer who is price sensitive, another consumer who is not that much price sensitive, he is time sensitive. And they understood this concept. Consumers can be divided into two parts: a part of consumer which is price sensitive, we plan our visits, we plan our tours in advance. Another set of consumer which is time sensitive, I would like to go as and when I want, I have to go on a business trip. They started giving differentiate pricing strategy. You do a online booking, you realize today the price is 4,000, but you book next day the price is 6,000. And it's an operational concept. The entire risk management is done over here. I mean, if you read more about yield management, I mean, a note to the participants over here, you can do a lot of research in this area. This area has not been trapped yet. You can do a lot of research in yield management. I mean, why not some other industry you can identify with yield management? This is an operational concept. So we can actually calculate how much risk we are carrying while applying the same concept in a particular industry. So this is again a radical innovation in service industry. And obviously when we are talking about innovations, how can we forget about IT industry? As I said, IT industry is actually the pioneer of all innovations. Starting with cloud computing, a very excellent idea. Again, a radical innovations. What we do here is we share the information. The client, the customer is able to access the same set of information which the management can. You might have heard about MRP software, ERP software, SAP software. They are all radical innovations. So each person, as a customer, I don't feel cheated. No, as a client, I don't feel cheated. I have an access to the same information as the service provider you have. So again, a radical innovation. We have started talking about big data, business analytics. Obviously, gone are those days when we used to run business on the basis of intuition. We'll have to have data. We'll have to have analyzed data. Otherwise, the cost of a wrong decision, the cost of a wrong innovation would be very high. So business, I mean, you would be surprised to know business analytics itself is an industry today. No, it started as an innovation in a particular industry. It started as an innovation in service industry. Today itself it is an industry. No, you can work as a business data analyst. You can work in the big data area. There are a lot of scope. The only thing is that you should know how to manipulate data. You should know how to exploit data, and obviously how to fetch current data as much as possible. So this is again a very radical innovation in the area of IT industry. Another innovation I wanted to share with you is disruptive technology. It says destroy the current technology completely. No, let us not innovate from there. Let us destroy what is there and then start. It says it displays something which is existing. I mean, when we who used to talk about when we were working on typewriters, we were working on computers one day. Then we were working on laptops one day. Then who had thought of we would not be carrying even the laptops with us because we have smartphones with us. No, so this is another radical innovation which talk about disruptive technology. So obviously our engineers have a lot of scope over here to innovate these ideas. So these are the radical innovations in the IT industry which I wanted to share with the audience. And then IT industry is thriving, hotel industry is thriving in India. We are known for that. We are known for good hospitals. We are known to have good healthcare industry. What is the road ahead? Where we can innovate further? No, if we want to work in service industry, I'm going to start my own service organization. In fact, as an academician, I want to do certain research. The road ahead, which I have perceived, is tourism industry. Tourism industry in India. Let us when we talk about make in India, okay, so let us project ourselves come to India. No, let us not project come to Kerala, come to Kashmir. Let us say come to India. Okay, so what kind of radical innovations we can have in tourism industry will bring about a change in the industry as per se. Okay, so I thought I would end with an idea with you, where we can have radical innovation tourism industry where we can trap a lot in India, and certainly this industry is looking for thriving for innovations. Okay, thank you very much. It was a nice interaction with you all. Thank you very much. That's all. Thank you. Any questions? That's all right. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
have a question.
Yeah.
How this innovation will contribute in Make in India vision?
See, I started with the concept make in India as well as serve in India. Okay, so if we are having a hospital in India, it is made in India. If I'm having airline industry in India, it is made in India. If I'm having this tourism industry in India, it is make in India. So let us not concentrate only on manufacturing. Let us make in India. Let us serve in India. Okay, so this is about a concept further to make in India, adding to that only. Is that all right? Thank you so much. Thank you so
Adding
much.
to what you were
Yeah.
saying, under Make in India campaign, Indian Railways recently has used one of the concepts that he was talking about, premium Tatkal, that is using the variable pricing. They have just started.
In fact, the distinction between manufacturing and service industry does not exist anymore. I was talking about, I mean, let's say I'm a AC manufacturer. I'm not only selling my AC, I'm selling the service also along with it. No, the service provider comes to your room. Same with the service industry. If I'm into restaurant, hotel industry, I also serve the food. No, I'm not even giving the service, I'm giving the product also to my consumer. So let us expand it as make in India as well as serve in India. So that's how I wanted to end it with. Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for sharing your views and presenting the theme in the context of service industry. Innovation and its techniques indeed plays a big role in entrepreneurship development, and that is what the starting point is highlighted by the madam in this technical session.
We would now take the opportunity to invite Dr. Prashant Gupta to embrace the session with his words of wisdom.
Can we change this slide? Make in India. Thank you. Honorable Director General RDIS, Professor Colonel Mahen Singh, Session Chairs on DIS, Professor Dinesh and Professor Nidhi. We have co-chairs with us, Professor Goyal and Professor Madan. And all the faculty members of RDIS, the participants, dear students, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm thankful for this opportunity, and I understand after lunch it becomes very difficult to stay here. And I'll try to justice that. I'll not take much of your time, but I would like to stick to the theme. And as it was suggested and sent to us, this technical session is on financial stability and approaches towards financial governance. I am a man of finance, I would stick to that. But before moving into this financial stability and governance, I would like to just start with a backdrop. What has happened, though we all know that, so I'll quickly pass through with this. Liberalization happened in the early 90s. And what is the major change happened? Now here I'd like to quote what Manisha was talking about. You know, earlier we were agriculture economy, supported with industry. And later on, with 90s liberalization, what has happened, this whole equation has changed. And today, if you talk about the contribution in GDP, you will find the major contribution is actually coming from services. Industry part has gone down and agriculture has also gone down. Now, this is the time when we need to think. You're going and developing only services, there has to be a proper balance between services as well as industry as well as agriculture. No sector you can ignore. And unfortunately, we ignored these two sectors vis-a-vis service sector. So, peak we touched during 2000-2008 when the growth rate was moving ahead, started from 7.5, touched to 9, 9.2, 9.5 GDP growth rate. And then the time came when the growth rate has come down. So the slow growth was during 2009-11, and then came the period which I said was the policy paralysis period. And the last 3-4 years that we have witnessed, particularly if you take from 2012 to 2014, for India, that was the worst period, especially for the industry and industrial growth and economic growth perspective. Now you look at it, that contributed because of what? So that period is actually not for growth. We know that period because of what? Because of the heavy scams or the decline in growth rate, or you can say the large sized scam, the telecom coal scam, everyone understand that. It's not just because of the our policy. Global economy was also in turmoil. 2008, we have seen US subprime crisis. 2009, that affected then Eurozone also. And together Eurozone crisis and subprime crisis affected our economy also. So the banking sector was least affected still. The impact was visible on the Indian economy. Signals of revival started coming across the globe from 2013 onwards. Unfortunately, we did not see light in a tunnel. India was not getting those impetus. Thanks to the new government, then they have come and started doing something on that. Now, I come to the agenda part after this backdrop. Financial stability, what we refer to financial stability. This I have taken from the recent IMF report. It's April 2015, very recent report. And they say, when you talk about financial stability, particularly for emerging markets, they say it must address their own domestic financial vulnerabilities